Hello everyone, Matty G here. Just wanted to go over some things for the Texans game on Sunday. Just give you a little bit of the breakdowns as far as scheme and coverage and what they like to do on both offense and defense. Me and John are going to get more into this on Friday night, but thought it'd be appropriate today to just brush up on some broad strokes before I really try to cut into this thing. Okay, so Houston, what they do is they really like to rotate at the line of scrimmage. They run a 3-1 trips package, and what that is it's 3 receivers on the field, 1 tight end. And they bunch them together on one side, which brings the coverage over to one side, as well as spreading them out. They like to spread the field out. Bill O'Brien coached at Penn State before he took the head coaching job at Houston, and I think he learned a lot in college, meaning use of spread offense, which every college team basically uses some form of it. Every NFL team does too, but primarily you're looking at a spread to spread the field out because you want to flex out the coverage. Now, what the Patriots can do to counter that is use the sideline. A lot of times, especially a young quarterback like Watson who's coming off a knee injury, he might be a little shaky and rusty to start out the first few series, especially maybe the first even half of football, because he hasn't played in over a year. So you force guys out to the sideline and you make it hard for them to catch the ball as far as him making pinpoint throws down the field. They don't like to really go up top and beat you vertically. They try to move chain to chain, which is something the Patriots are going to absolutely need to do on offense in order to win this game. When the team's double Hopkins, you're going to look for a bracket rotation. What a bracket rotation is, swinging a whole type of guys to one side of the field. So a bracket rotation would be the tight ends on the end of the line of scrimmage or receivers in the slot. You're going to swing them to the left side if the coverage is double team on Hopkins, with the safety up top is going that way. So if the safety up top with a cornerback in man coverage on the sideline is on the right side, you're going to swing in your bracket rotation to the left. It's all about getting mismatches and finding the right personnel in order to attack. It's like a game of chess. Another thing the Texans like to do a lot of is they target their tight ends. And they're really good at this. Bill O'Brien loves to use his tight ends. So look for Fedorovich down the middle of the seam, just like the Patriots do with Gronkowski. They don't flex them out to the top of the line of scrimmage or the bottom as far as looking at a field if we're on the field right now, but they will throw down the seam, which is the middle of the field, in between the hash marks. Look for that a lot. They really, they're a top 5 team as far as targeting their tight ends throughout the course of an NFL season. At least they have been the last 2 years. And another thing that they do is they use 2 tight ends. So even if one, like the Patriots do, Dwayne Allen's on one side, Gronkowski's on the other, they're going to Gronkowski. The play's drawn up, first progression is to Gronkowski. Allen's there to block, but having both tight ends on the field forces the defense to show their hands. They have to play a base coverage and show what they're trying to do on defense, whether it's man or zone, at the line of scrimmage by having the extra tight end in the game. Very important. And very rarely, when you do a double tight end set, because of their ability to get downfield and get down the seam, very rarely do you see a team blitz. Now, you can disguise a blitz and have a linebacker stunt and come in off behind another player. However, it's difficult to do because if you don't get to the quarterback and he makes a play, somebody's going to be running wide open downfield, and it could be a serious damage type play. And if you miss a tackle in the open field, forget it. You could be going to the house. I mentioned the 3-1 trip sets. It forces rotation. The defense must use the nickelback. The Pats like to use, they're not going to use Jonathan Jones as much as you would think. They'll use the extra safety because they created the big nickel 2 years ago. So Harmon will be playing center field when they do decide to do this, and he'll come up if the Texans are going to play underneath type football where they're going short instead of going vertical and trying to beat you up top all the way downfield. Especially in the beginning of the game, I think you need to look for that because Patriots need to take away underneath. Tight coverage, get up on their cornerbacks, jamming the Texan receivers at the line of scrimmage because Braxton Miller and Will Fuller both have exceptional speed. You want to jam them at the line. Take away that 1 or 2 seconds that could get them free downfield where they could maybe run either with the football or by somebody. So they can disguise that with their third safety, having Harmon play way out in center field. He can come up and blitz, or he can stay out in coverage and play center field and try to, go wherever the ball is. Try to read the quarterback's eyes and go wherever the ball is. It does limit rotations. It also widens the field when they do the 3-1 set because the offense is spread out across the field. Like I said, you want to use the sidelines. I already mentioned that. And the Texans are a pass-to-run team, meaning Lamar Miller is a really good running back, but they're going to be passing first to set up the run. They like to use the run to slow down the game. They're a front-running type of team, meaning when they get ahead, they like to take away the game, slow it down, and work the clock with the running backs. So you're not going to see Lamar Miller get 20 carries in the first half. You're more likely to see him, if they have a lead at halftime, get 20 carries in the second half. That's what I mean by that. Okay, their defense, they play a base quarters defense. And what that is it's basically a nickelback is always on the field. So they run 3 corners pretty much the whole game. Now, obviously in running situations, they get rid of the corner, but meaning first and 10, second and 8, third and 5, they're running 3 corners the whole game, pretty much. And what that does is the Patriots need to do a good job of identifying the personnel matchups, meaning who's covering who's covering Lamar Miller out of the backfield. Is it going to be Kyle Van Noy or Landon Roberts in the middle? Is it going to be Hightower on the outside? Or Claiborne, or any of the other linebackers that they so choose. You drop the DBs, which is the Gilmore, Jonathan Jones, Eric Rowe. You're going to drop them back, and the Texans are going to try to work underneath. Like I said, they don't go up top too much. This isn't like Kansas City where they try to beat you up top. They're going to try to play underneath, and they're going to try to take what's given to them, a lot like the Patriots do. That is the way the Patriots are going to attack this game. It's going to be a chain-to-chain type of game. Get the first down, get the next one. Get the first down, get the next one. Get in the red zone, get 6, get off the field. That's the type of game you're going to see from this offense because you're playing right into the Texans' hands if you're going to throw the ball 40, 50 yards down the field. A, we don't have Edelman. B, you don't want to kill Gronkowski in week 1. And C, you don't want Brady to have to throw the ball 70 times in the first game, You're going to see the Texans on defense, they're going to do a lot of twisting and Texas stunts, like I mentioned. They had a lot of success in the playoffs 2 years ago against us stunting on our guards, Joe Tooney, Shaq Mason. You're going to see that a lot on Sunday, guys. They will have Clowney lined up, coming at a guard, and then they're going to bring in somebody behind them. Basically, it's attacking a pass rush lane, the A gap, the B, or the C. It's attacking one of those lanes, whichever they see fit on that design play. Try to get after Brady and at least knock him to the turf if they can't sack him. They use something that's called the threatening man pressure package, which they use it in both their dime and nickel package. A dime package is something that you see when teams have a big lead, and it's basically putting 4 or 5 corners on the field. A nickel package is 3. Guy in the slot covering the slot receiver, 2 corners on the outside. Your safeties are designed wherever they need to be. Chung's the free, Devon's the strong, Devon's usually deep, Chung's usually up. Now the Patriots use Harmon as the big nickel safety, meaning he plays way out. Chung and McCourty are up. One of them can blitz, one of them can try to take the running back. It's all about personnel matchups. They have that pretty much figured out really well. But you're going to see DJ Reader, Whitney Merciless, Bernard McKinney, and Clowney stunting. Marcus Cannon's going to take down J.J. Watt, and if he does rotate to the other side, Trent Brown's going to have to take him. They can't switch linemen at the line of scrimmage. So if Watt moves from one side to the other to get away from Cannon because Cannon's had success against him, you're going to see Trent Brown have to come up. You're going to see Devlin chipping on both Clowney and Watt. Those are the 2 big pass rushes this team has. The Patriots can do a good job of keeping them at bay. They should have no problem winning this game. And like I said, short routes, attack the underneath. If the coverage is playing you to make sure that you don't get beat deep, you go underneath. And if it's a zone coverage, the Texans like to start out with zone. Once you get past their linebackers, they come up with man. So they bring everybody up and they play one-on-one coverage. The way you beat that is you go underneath. You go short, you throw to the running backs, you throw screen passes, you throw to Gronkowski down the seam 15 yards instead of 30. That is how you beat that type of a defense. And the last thing I want to say is when the Texans run their base quarter defense, which is the defense they're going to line up with on first down to start the game, they shift to man once the receivers and the tight ends are beyond the linebackers. Underneath routes, guys. You're going to see the Patriots do a lot of short passing. This is a perfect game for Brady because he is the best at passing the ball and throwing it short to his running backs, to his receivers, and to his tight ends. I like the Patriots to win this game. We'll have more on Friday night. This is just the broad strokes of what I'm trying to break into. Have a good night.